Today we are doing another tier maker list. This time we're going and predicting the actual records of all 32 NFL teams. You may remember the past weeks I've done several tier maker lists. One was on who would win each division. Now I'm going to break it down further and actually give a number to each of these. These are binding, or at least I'll try and hold to them. I'm willing enough to be wrong. And if you disagreed with me on that one, you'll probably disagree on me on this again, but just putting a number to the madness because this is all crapshoot. Predicting the records of teams is just a crapshoot every year because you can never count on injuries, and we always know there will be injuries. But if you're just stumbling upon this video, my name is Redhead Takes. If you like what I made here today, give it a like, share, comment, all of that nice stuff. But let's get into the content with the tier maker list. Now, I just broke it down into, that shouldn't be there. 14, 17, 10, 13 wins, 6 to 9 wins, 2 to 5 wins, and 0 to 1 wins. Probably not going to be a lot of teams in there except maybe one, but we'll get to them eventually. Let's start off with, because this is how it's ordered, the Cincinnati Bengals. Now let's put them in 10 to 13. They're still going to be a great team. Joe Burrow will be healthy. He'll be fine. He'll be ready for the season. He'll be missing some time, of course, but the offense is still prolific. Blocking can be a little better at times, and they did lose some pieces on defense, but they should be able to get to the quarterback a fair bit amount on defense, but their secondary may struggle a little bit. That's the only concerning thing. That may be the reason why they only win 10 to 13, but they're still going to be one of the top seeds in the AFC, and I have no doubt that they're going to go far in the playoffs once again. Now let's go with the Las Vegas Raiders, and we'll put them in 2 and 5. Yes, they have two great pass rushers, Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, but let's face it, that rest of that defense is kind of crap, and the whole team overall is also kind of crap. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I just think he's washed up. He was only successful in San Francisco because of the team was so good around him. Now deduct many key positions or key players from offense and defense and then you get the Raiders. So I don't expect him to do very well. Sure, Josh Jacobs is still going to do fine, but who knows? He'll probably be on another team next year. And despite what Max Crosby said, and wanting to do better this year and actually go somewhere, it's just not in the cards. As long as Josh McDaniels is your coach, you're not going to do anything, but you're so locked into him now. Also, you're still paying John Gruden. You're just F for a long time. You have a terrible owner and a terribly run organization. For an organization that has had such a historical history, what the Raiders have become is just nothing short of a tragedy. It's really sad. But let's go to the LA Chargers, and we can put them around 10 to 13, I think. At least on the lower end of that. Yeah, they're still going to be good. Of course, their offense is going to be better just because Joe Lombardi is not a coach on this team anymore. So, addition by subtraction there for sure. And hopefully Herbert will be healthy this year. That should help. Hopefully Joey Bosa can stay healthy for most of the year. He hasn't been able to do that. And when the Chargers don't have pass rush, boy, their defense is kind of awful. They have pieces at every area, but they just can't stay healthy. Hopefully this is the year. Hopefully they can finally get over the hump, because Brandon Staley needs a good year to save his job. Because after the debacle that was the playoffs last year, another loss like that or another missed playoffs, and he's out of a job. And the Chargers are looking for another head coach again. So, still going to be a good team. I could see where they could end up in this section, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because of that offense that they'll go here. Dallas Cowboys. What are we going to do with the Cowboys? We shall put them here. I mean, let's go over the wins. Bengals probably 12. Chargers probably 10, 11 wins, something like that. Cowboys, 11's probably a good one for them. Raiders, if I'm being generous, give them 4 wins. But anyway, with the Cowboys I said 11 wins. Yeah, of course, they have a great team. They'll have a bona fide number 2 option at wide receiver. Tony Pollard is finally the starting running back, and thank God. He's been better than Zeke for the last couple years. He just never got that opportunity, and last year finally got that opportunity and showed why he should be the starter. It sucks the way the running back position has been so devalued, so he can't actually cash in on that and get a multi-year contract with the Cowboys because I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do if Pollard ends up somewhere else next year. We won't get into that now, but they've always been a great regular season team. It's all been a matter of what happens in the playoffs. And every year for Cowboys fans, they get teased and teased that the team, oh, we do so well in the regular season, but then you've been beat down so much once you get to the playoffs. Or besides a few notable fans out there, you know what's going to happen in the playoffs, and probably going to happen again this year. Another playoff loss, and more doubt on Dak Prescott that he will never take the next step. As good as he is, he'll never take the next step. Maybe this year they can prove us wrong. But the Eagles are still in the division and clearly the best team in that division, and it's probably going to stay like that for a while. And the Patriots, they're going to be here. They're for 6-9 team. I think 9 wins is very generous, maybe a little too generous, but after what I saw with them playing against the Packers in a practice, their defense looks so legit. They just fly all over. They can get to the quarterback with ease. They're just great at coverage, and just a well-rounded defense. They got better, and why teams allow the Patriots to get players like Christian Gonzalez and others, and how they're able to find good players like Josh Uche and other players of that such. It's no wonder why the team is still going to be good, at least on defensively. Who knows what they're going to do week to week on an offensive basis. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson is still there, and while he's not as good of a short yardage running back as people think, he's still going to be good. Still going to probably do what he did, something similar to what he did last year. Hopefully he can avoid injury, because that would really hurt them if he was out. Don't have a lot of options in the receiver category. Maybe if Devontae Parker's probably their number 1 option, and he hasn't been really the same for a while. But I think 9 is more than fair, but I could see a scenario where it's less than that. Maybe 7 to 8, maybe more likely, but at best 9 wins for this team, just because of the division they're in. And the Commies, or who knows, maybe they will be the Redskins again, because of course this is how it was always going to go. Or people complain about the team name, they change it, but then once Dan Snyder's out, then they change it back, which is ridiculous. It just shows how stupid the outrage is over the Redskins name. It's never a bad name. People just need to get over it. Most Native Americans aren't offended by it. It's just the few that run it for everybody else. But I think we'll put them in that 6-9 region, maybe 7 wins at best. I don't know. We don't know what we're going to get on offense. Sam Howell is just kind of a mystery, and with the whole turmoil with the team changing ownership, who knows what we're going to get. I can tell you this, their defense is going to be really great. That defensive line is no joke. There's some good secondary pieces. Hopefully Chase Young can finally show what he did a couple years ago. Hopefully he's finally healthy. That would be a big boost for them. That defensive line, even without Chase Young, is fantastic. And they're able to get to the quarterback with ease. It's just a matter of their secondary improving and their offense helping them out a little bit. And they have a couple of good wide receivers. They have a good running back. So all the pieces are there to maybe improve on what they did last year. It's just that with all the turnover in the ownership department, coaching department is probably going to be different next year. Probably going to bring in a new staff. So I think 7 wins is probably good for them just because next year is going to be such a different team, at least in the coaching and ownership department. But Kansas City, of course, they're going to go here. Their division should be a cakewalk. They should win 5 to 6 games in their division. Should beat the Raiders twice. Should beat the Broncos twice. Maybe struggle against the Chargers a little bit just because I think the Chargers that are the most evenly matched up. I mean, sure their defense isn't there, but I don't trust the Buccaneers or the Broncos offense. But Chiefs probably 14 to 15 wins. I don't think they're going to get 16 or 17. Even for as good as the Chiefs are, that's a little ambitious, but still going to be a great team. Still probably going to be number one in the AFC until somebody beats them. They're still the kings of the AFC and probably a favorite to win the Super Bowl again. Well, next we'll go with the Carolina Panthers. I think 7 wins is very doable here. I'm going to put them above. Yeah, I think 7 wins is doable. Maybe 6, maybe 5 at worst. I mean, I think they're a well-built team going forward. They're still going to need to add pieces here and there. They're going to be built on the run. They're going to run the ball a lot. And Bryce Young has shown he can do something in the league, or always he has rumblings. We'll have to see what he does going forward. I think he will continue to improve. Probably be a little bit of a growing pains this year. He is a rookie. He is was the number 1 overall pick, but let's still give him time to grow. Let's not throw all these expectations on him right away. I mean, the team is behind him. They named him number 1 starting quarterback back a couple months ago, so he has all the support in the world. It's a matter of him showing what he did in college and if he can translate it to the next level. But they have good pieces on defense, decent offensive line, a great rushing attack. Maybe the wide receivers aren't there except Adam Thielen, but they're going somewhere. This might be a little bit of a rough year, but probably it'll be something definitely to build on for years to come. And the Rams, God, I don't know if this is crazy or not, but here, right, 8 wins for the Rams, I think is probably doable. I don't think this team was as bad as they were last year. They just had so many injuries. What do you expect? What do you expect when they have the injuries that they did? Their number 1 wide receiver is one of the best in the league. Cooper Kupp was out most of the year. Stafford had his injuries. The defense was just completely decimated. Their offensive line was decimated. And hopefully this year their players can come back. Aaron Donald returns. Hopefully he can stay healthy because that'll be a big boost. No more Jalen Ramsey, of course, but Cam Akers, hopefully he can build on what he did at the end of the year last year. That would be a big help. And I think Matthew Stafford has at least one good season left in him. It's just a matter of, can he turn back that clock one more time? I think he can. And Cooper Kupp can have a revitalized year and get back to those 1,500 plus yard receiving seasons he's had in the past. I think he can definitely do that again this year. So 8 wins, probably doable. Maybe less, or probably less, but in this tier list, I'm all about best possibilities, and I think for the Rams, 8 is doable. The Giants, I'm gonna put them at 9. Yeah, I just don't know what to think about the Giants. They have new pieces. You don't have Kenny Galladay anymore, so that's a plus. Saquon Barkley, hopefully he can repeat what he did last year. That offensive line is going to get better. They have some new pieces in receiving. Isaiah Hodgins and Jalen Hyatt, who's just a speedy wide receiver. He's just so fast. Maybe he needs to work on the hands at times, but there's definitely some speed there in the receiver department. Defense should be fine for the most part. The success of the team will all come down to Daniel Jones, and if he can repeat last year, because now he got his money, now he has to prove that he deserved that money. Because if he doesn't, boy, it's going to be dark days for the Giants. But 9, I think it's doable. I don't want to put them any higher. Oh, I don't think double-digit wins is there for them, just simply because of the division they're in. But 9 is doable, and a playoff wildcard berth is also possible, but maybe not certain. Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna put them at here. I think 9 is doable for them. I'm conflicted with the Steelers. Their offensive line should be improved, but who knows if it's still going to be that much better. The very least won't be as bad as last year, so that should help Najee Harris. That should help Kenny Pickett to continue to develop. Still Deontay Johnson. Still have Pickens. Hopefully he can build on what he did last year. He showed flashes last year, but let's see the full what George Pickens can do for a full year. The defense is still going to be good. Always, as long as TJ Watt is on your defense, your defense is going to go take you places. They're going to be in a tough division as always. So maybe 9 is a little optimistic, but I think it's very doable. I think this team is going to continue to develop and grow, and maybe they'll be back to the big bad Steelers of old. Chicago Bears. We're gonna put them at least above the Raiders, but I don't picture more than 5 wins for them. 4 or 5 at most, to be honest. Yes, they got pieces. I know. I'm gonna never hear the end of it in the comments, but the Bears are still dependent on a quarterback that we don't know can throw. He can run the ball. That's great. But when you can't run the ball to win the game and your legs can't do it, what are you going to do? Is he going to be able to find his receivers on a consistent basis? And I don't think he will. DJ Moore should help a lot. But Darnell Mooney is supposedly a great wide receiver. Cole Kmet is a great tight end. But could he find them? Yes. All the time? No. And more so on the no side, to be honest. He still has his interceptions issues. He still has his turnover issues. It's just a matter of, can he be more accurate? And that's the only thing holding them back. Also, their offensive line is not very good. It may be a bit improved this year, but they have players on defense, but not a fully cohesive defensive unit that's working towards one goal. It seems at times they have great players, but not a great team overall, and that's what's going to hold them back. This is not me being a Packers fan. This is me just being objective. I don't think the Bears are going to be too much improved. Certainly improved, but how much? It's just a matter of, can Fields stay healthy, and can he improve on his accuracy? That remains to be seen. Seattle Seahawks, we'll put them in that. Man, I'm conflicted on this one too. I probably got to put them in 9. I think they should finish about the Rams, but it should be closer race for that second spot in the West with the Rams than previously thought. They're still going to be a great offense. They have great pieces. 3, at least 2 bona fide great wide receivers, and 1 that may be the future, but we'll have to see Jackson Smith and Jigba play more. Of course, running backs, Charbonnet, man. Yeah, the running game should still be solid. Or Kenny Walker. Yeah, Kenny Walker should still be great. Should be a great 1-2 punch. But I'm still hesitant on if Geno Smith can continue what he did last year. I think last year was kind of a fluke. And I think teams know how to play against him, and we'll see that this year. 49ers are going to beat them both times. The 49ers are not going to lose to the Seahawks team. I'm sorry. Defense should still be improved for the Seahawks, but 9 wins is doable. Maybe on the outskirts of a playoff, but I don't know. I'm just conflicted on them because I just hate the team, but I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. 9 is probably doable for them. The Broncos. Oh boy, they've already been snake bitten at wide receiver. I think it made it clear that my thoughts on Russell Wilson are not great. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think all those years in Seattle with that great defense really covered up his shortcomings and it should be better than here. I think 7 wins is doable. Wide receivers are just going to need to stay healthy. They have a great defense, but it's all whether that offense can come together. Javonte Williams should be back for the second preseason game, so hopefully he can come back to what he was before his injury because he had a pretty significant injury, but he seems to be fully back. It's just a matter of if that offense can come together with the new Sean Payton system, and I think it can. But realistically, how much can they? Cleveland Browns. And conflicted Cleveland. And 4 wins. I know it's probably being not too kind to the Browns, but Deshaun Watson, I think, is washed up, to be honest. When it's all said and done, we're going to come to believe that that contract for him was one of the worst things that ever happened in the NFL. And I don't think he's good anymore. They have pieces here and there to still have one of the best running backs in the league, but you don't have much behind him. And sooner or later, the tires are going to come off on Nick Chubb, and they will have nothing to replace him with. Maybe they'll bring back Kareem Hunt at some point this season because I don't think Kareem Hunt is going to find a team until later on in the season because I think he's just screwed himself by trying to go after too many teams instead of just focusing on one team. There's still a beast on defense, but defense was not great last year. Who knows how improved it will be this year? I just don't have much nice things to say about Cleveland. They have the worst owner, or they now have the worst owner in the NFL. Since Daniel Snyder no longer owns the commies, it's by default guy in Cleveland. I forgot his name because he's such an a-hole. But yeah, not much nice things to say about Cleveland. In San Francisco, they're going to be right up here. Probably similar record to the Chiefs. They're going to win their division. They're probably going to be the number 1 or number 2 seed in the NFC. Their team is built all the way through, except that terrible pick they made for Trey Lance, who's probably washed, probably won't be with the team next year. Yeah, there's just not a lot of weaknesses on this team. They're going to be up there for Super Bowl contention again. Can they finally do the job and get back to that game? And I think they can. Buffalo. I think Buffalo 14 wins is doable. I think they're going to bounce back this year. Josh Allen was injured all last year. They lost Von Miller after the Thanksgiving game, and their pass rush just completely fell apart. Secondary is going to need to do better, of course. Hopefully, if Greg Rousseau can take the next step and be on opposite ends of Von Miller, boy, that defense is going to be really scary. Secondaries are just going to have to show up. I mean, Trey White hopefully can return to what he did. Hopefully Kaiir Elam can improve or can do better than what he did last year. I think the sky is the limit for them. I think this is the year they finally get that monkey off their back and get to the Super Bowl, but it just remains to be seen. I think they're still going to be a great team. And I just think all the hate on them right now and all the Stephon Diggs nonsense was just what I said. It's nonsense. I thought it was all blown out of proportion, to be honest with you. Oh, they don't belong there. They belong here. The Detroit Lions, 9 wins. They're going to be a good team. They're probably going to win their division. It's just a matter of can they be consistent. Can they build on what they did at the end of last year? I think they can. I think they probably will. I think, you know what? I'll give them 10. I'll be nice. I'll get them 10. I think 10 wins Maybe 11 is the pinnacle. I still think they have issues here and there. Jameson Williams won't play the first 6 games, and now he's injured, so who knows how that will hamper him. But yeah, I think they're a good team. I think they can finally show it this year, but can they play a full year without having a characteristic Lions losing streak? And that is going to be a really big thing for them. Atlanta. We're going to put them right around here. We're going to put them below Carolina just because Desmond Ridder is a real mystery. He hasn't looked good in the preseason so far. He didn't show all that much last year. They have great offensive pieces. I just think they're a terrible team with great offensive pieces. Bijan Robinson should be a great player, but we haven't seen him yet. We need to actually see him play in the NFL first before we can just say he's going to be like a number 1 running back in the league. Come on, Kyle Pitts has to, show up on a week-to-week basis. You never know what you're going to get. Drake London should continue to improve. They got some pieces on defense, so that should help a lot. But it all comes down to quarterback, and I don't think Desmond Ridder is that great. He still has great potential, but don't like him overall. I think there's a whole lot of smoke and mirrors there. Minnesota, yeah, there's a lot of 6 and 9 teams. They're gonna regress, of course. Probably around here. See, I put New England here, but I just don't think they're still. I put them in the 6 and 9 region, but I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs still. So maybe I'll put them. I'll put them here. But the Minnesota, of course, their offense is going to be great again. Kirk Cousins just seems to defy age, and whenever you think he's bad, he does well. It works so well with Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison is only going to add another level to that. Sure, they're going to take a step back because Dalvin Cook is gone, and I don't think Alexander Madison is as good as people think he is, and I don't think he's going to hold up for a full year. They lost pieces on defense. They're going to regress, of course, because of all the close games they won last year, but they should still be in the playoff hunt, should be right there with the Lions potentially, but there might be another team in the NFC North that might have something to say about the Vikings making the playoffs. We're going to put the Saints right here. They should win 10 games because that division they're in is just terrible. I'm very open to the possibility that the Saints are bad, but I just don't think they are going to be too bad. Sure, their running back situation right now is very dire and very scary, so they're going to need to improve on that very quickly. But they still have a great defense. They still have Derek Carr should still be better than what Andy Dalton last year, and Andy Dalton nearly led them to the playoffs. Michael Thomas should be back to somewhat to what he used to be, but don't expect to ever see that prime Michael Thomas ever again. That's probably gone forever. But Chris Olave should improve. Alvin Kamara should be ready to go by week 4. And the division is just bad. I think they have the best team in that division, so 10 wins is doable. They probably win their division and make the playoffs by default, but who knows? The division is a crapshoot. Houston. Be nice to the Bears, but the Texans, I think, will improve. I think 5 wins is doable. Maybe 6 at the most, but it should improve. Yes, C.J. Stroud didn't look very good in the preseason game, but they're missing a couple pieces on the offensive line. They were playing the Patriots, so what do you expect? A rookie quarterback getting thrown up against the New England Patriots first game? Come on, what do you expect? But I think they have all signs of going forward. Of course, their receiving core is just a big old mystery. Who knows what they'll get with John Mechie. David Pierce is probably going to have a really great year, and he should be a great fantasy pickup for sure. Draft him early, but not too early. But defense should be improved. D'Amico Ryans is going to build a winning culture with that team. I think he's a really good coach. He's going to or build up that defense. Will Anderson is going to have a good year. He may be in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year because he just looks solid. It's a matter of, can they realize on the potential of some of their players and build towards next year? Because obviously it's not a playoff year for them. They're not going to be anywhere near the playoffs, but they will be better than what people think they will be. They're not going to be at the top of the draft next year. They'll probably be towards the lower end of the middle round of the draft. Maybe still in the top 10, but the lower top 10, but they're going to improve. Eagles are going to be right up there here again. I think they're still going to have the best record in the division. It's going to come down to these two teams, 1 and 2 in the NFC. But yeah, they're still good. Their defense is amazing. They did lose some pieces, of course, so that'll hurt them a little bit. But offense is still amazing. Who knows? There's just not a lot of negatives about the Eagles, to be honest. Just not a lot of negatives. Really, they're just a great team all around. Like the 49ers and the Chiefs are probably one of the few teams out there that it's really hard to find the scenario where they don't make the playoffs. And the Jets. We will put them at the top of here at 9, but I don't think they're going to win more than that. Because if that offensive line is anything what it has been the past couple of weeks, oh boy, watch out. The Jets are going to be in for some trouble. Aaron Rodgers got sacked like 6 times. Or quarterbacks got sacked like 6 times at practice the other day. It's not good. And they don't have a lot of reinforcements coming through. Guy Becton can't stay healthy. Sure, they have a great defense, great offensive pieces, but if you can't protect Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to go anywhere. And I think 9 is still doable, maybe 10, but I think all this talk about, oh, the Jets are going to win like 12, 13 games, they're like, no, they're not. They're not. Still going to be a good team. Probably going to be on the outskirts of the playoffs, but I think they're still going to miss the playoffs. So, yeah. The Tennessee Titans. We shall put them here. No, here. Good team overall for the most part. Just Ryan Tannehill is old and going fast. They don't. Will Levis is just a mess. Malik Willis is a mess. They still have great offensive pieces. Traylon Burks is going to be out for the first couple weeks, so that's going to be a bummer. But yeah, Andre Hopkins is there. Who knows what he has left? Derrick Henry probably has at least one great season left in him. The offensive line will still be good. Defense should be improved. But who knows that they can stay consistent. I just think Tennessee Titans are a real mystery. They have pieces, but... And just the fact for the division that they're in should be interesting. Should potentially push the Jaguars for the first place in the AFC South, but who knows. And the Green Bay Packers. Still going to put them around... I think 8 wins is doable at maybe 9. Maybe 9 is the ceiling for this team, but they still have issues. Like I said in my video earlier about Packers practice, they didn't look great, but they have great potential. A lot of young guys that are just going to need to play together to learn and get better. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs for the Packers this year, but I don't think they're as bad as people think they are. Rodgers leaving is not the worst thing that could have happened to this team. They have a new quarterback who's going to have all the options in the world. He's going to have so many people to throw through with no reason to turn his eye away from anybody. He's going to be forced to throw to everybody. Defense is still going to be great, despite the fact that Joe Barry is coordinator. But they have so many defensive pieces. It'll all come together this year and really help them move that needle and maybe, just maybe, beat out the Lions for the number 1 spot in the North. But I'm going to be fair. I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm not going to say they're going to win that division, but don't be surprised if they're neck and neck with the Vikings and the Lions for the first place in the NFC North. Don't be surprised at all. Tampa Bay, I'm clearly going to put them here. Still have great offensive pieces, but who knows what they're doing at quarterback. Defense is still great. Who knows? They might be close to a sell-off. So I don't know. They're just a mystery. Um, they go as far as their quarterback takes them, and if the quarterback play we get in Tampa Bay is from Baker's anything that we got the last couple of years, oh boy, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be very bad. So we'll go to the Arizona Cardinals. I think they win one game this year. One game, and that might be generous. This team is so bad all the way through. They're clearly trying for Caleb Williams, and they're going to be in that Caleb Williams lottery. I don't think there's anywhere around that. I don't think they finish anywhere above in this region or in there. Just not much to say. Cardinals are just a terribly run organization. Baltimore Ravens. We can put them around here. 10 wins is probably doable for them. Maybe more. Maybe 11 wins. Still think they're going to lose that to the Bengals. Lamar Jackson should be better this year. Hopefully he can stay healthy full way through. J.K. Dobbins looks healthy, so that'll be really helpful. If he can play a full season, that'll really help. Their defense is still loaded all the way around. It's just a matter of can they stay healthy? The Ravens is always health, and they have not done that yet, but I think they can. This year with the new offense, should be throwing the ball a lot more, and we'll really get to see how well Lamar can throw the ball. Maybe be up for an MVP, but I think that's a bit far-fetched, but maybe you can get back that. Jacksonville, we're going to put them, I don't know. I don't know. I think you can swap Jacksonville and Baltimore back and forth. Jacksonville should win 10 games. Division should be a cakewalk. Should have no trouble winning it, but just maybe, the Titans can push them for it. Great young quarterback, or a good offensive line, good pieces on offense, great wide receivers, a decent tight end, a defense that's growing and getting better. There's lots to like about the Jaguars, especially since they're the division they're in. I like Lawrence to really take the next step and move into the potential MVP categories. It's a matter of can he take the next step, and I think he definitely can. He has all the talent in the world. It's amazing what a coach can do for a player, how a coach can change a player's destiny. Miami, we're going to put them right around here. I think, if anything, the Miami Dolphins have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Jets. It's all comes down to the health of Tua. They have a great team overall, great wide receivers, some decent running backs that are maybe just looking to take the next step, a good defense, even though Jalen Ramsey won't be returning until December. But they still have a good defense even without Jalen Ramsey until that point. But should be a good team. It all comes down to the health of Tua. And hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he doesn't suffer another concussion, because his life is more important than playing football. And I don't want him to suffer another concussion. That would be really bad. Colts, we're going to put them right about here. Probably going to be right up in the top 3 again. I don't think Anthony Richardson is up to snuff. Jonathan Taylor probably won't be with the Colts next year. It's probably his last run. Who knows what's going on with Jonathan Taylor right now? They once had a good offensive line, but who knows what it's going to be this year. Like I said, Anthony Richardson I don't think is that good. I think he's all hype. And it's really going to show when it comes to regular season how wrong it was to draft him and how wrong it was to immediately make him the starting quarterback for your franchise. He's too raw. He's a physical freak, but going to need more than that to succeed in the NFL. So that's where I think the teams line up. Probably a little better than that last year. Let's try to order them a little bit more, but it's just what I feel. If you disagree or agree, let me know in the comments below. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.